Hello everyone, this is Claire Van Steenwyk coming to you live from my home office in Sun City, West Arizona. I want to talk to you today a little bit about Biden's being successful as the president. Now, he may not be your president, I don't believe he's mine, but he is the president. He's recognized as that around the world. But before I do this, I want to make a little bit of an announcement. Tomorrow, in Surprise, at Dale's Town and Country from around noon to 4 p.m. there's going to be a Constitution rally. There will be speakers there and other things. And so I'm inviting all of you who are at least in our area, Sun City West, Surprise, El Mirage, Sun City, Youngtown, and Vistancia, Portobello, Deer Valley area, to come on down. You know, it's right off the 303. You just get off at Waddell. If you're on the 303, hang a left or go away from the 303. And on the left-hand side, you'll see Dale's Town and Country before you get to Litchfield Park, or Litchfield. The address is 14320 West Waddell, Surprise, Arizona. It is between Litchfield and Bullard. You can also get there off Grant. So I'm hoping you're all going to come. I think we'll have a good time. It's a 4-hour deal. There'll be some candidates there for you to speak to. Naturally, I'll be there. I know I'll be one of them. Some will be seeking signatures to get on the ballot. We have taken care of that part of our campaign already. And now we're seeking clean election signatures with $5 donations to get all the funding we need to run against what I consider to be now a career politician who's getting funded by other means, we'll call it. I want to share one other thing to you. Let's just call it a little quip of mine. I like to do a little history with people. For those of you who don't think that when people take an oath of office it's very important, or that they can violate it whenever they feel like it, as so many here in Arizona do and they do in Washington constantly. The oath basically says you will support, protect, and defend the United States Constitution. Period. Well, just so you know, when Washington became president, the first president of our true republic, because we had other presidents prior to that for the way they were trying to set the government up, and it hadn't worked. The first bill that was passed out of the Congress, the very first bill, was a bill about taking an oath of office and the oath of office itself. So apparently our founders and the leaders of that day thought the oath of office was important. Unlike the people we have today, both those in office, many seeking office, and a lot of voters who don't think keeping your word is very important. It is. It's the one true thing that my father always raised us to believe. If you give your word, you keep it. So consider very carefully when you make promises to people. Tell them, I'll be over tomorrow at 4, and then you don't even show up. Or I'll help you do this, or I'll get signatures for you, and you don't bother doing it. That means you're not a very trustworthy person. And my dad always told us, you know, if you don't keep your word, I'd never trust you. I wouldn't do business with you. I'm pretty much the same way. So understand really what the oath of office is about and how important it was back then and how important it should be to all of us now. Because when you elect people and they take that oath and then they violate it, I don't believe you have any reason to ever support or vote for them again. No matter how many apologies they make, or how stupid they say they were, or how misguided they might have been, or they just believe the wrong thing. If they're that narrow, small-minded, or simple-minded, they don't belong in office. They don't belong anywhere, actually. But just for a little historical proof of what the oath of office really does mean and did mean back then and should mean today. Now on with Mr. Biden. Many believe he's a very successful president. He has managed to give us gasoline well over, in some states, $4, and here in Arizona it's $3.50, $3.60, depending on where you're going. But it's at least gone up over 50% of what it was just a year ago. We're going to have higher utility bills. We have more people coming into our country illegally than we've had in a long, long time, many of which are infected with the China virus. Nothing's being done about that, although they want mandates to make sure all of us get shots. But don't bother with the invaders that are coming here. You don't want to get them shots. He's sending the invaders to mostly red states, which if I was a governor of any red state, I would be having planes or buses at the airport to pick them up and take them to California, New York, Illinois, Colorado, New York, New Jersey, states like that, where they belong. After all, those are the people that want them here. Biden and his shadow government and the other people in the government and his party that have managed to do all of this to us have managed to do this in a very short time. And the disgrace of Afghanistan, the soldiers that were killed there that didn't need to die, the civilians that have been killed there by the Taliban since they've taken over again, and all the other things that this man has done to bring this country to its knees by design. The attack on our children and their education, our indoctrination, which they want to continue. And I will say that I'm happy to see that the parents of children, and I say parents because there are parents here, there are mothers and fathers that are defending their children, are speaking out. However, I will have this caveat to it. I wish they'd have spoke out a long time ago, because you see, all the defense those children need were given to us and granted us by God through our founders in the United States Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's what we need to defend. That defends our children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, etc., Americans in general. That's what defends us. The laws we're supposed to live under, and the laws that are supposed to bind these people from doing anything to us. See, they were written to protect us from our government, not from France or Russia or Germany or Japan or Mexico, but the United States government. That's what they were written to do. Anybody that's tells you any differently doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't want to go on and on about this. I just want you to understand, to truly understand, no matter what party you belong to. You see, when all of us were born legally within this country, of parents that are citizens are here legally. Therefore, we were born U.S. citizens. That gave us the God-granted right to do the things we do. No one else in the world has this. No one else in the world died to get us this. They didn't die in Mexico to get these people this. They didn't die in Nicaragua, which is now communist, and other South American countries are turning communist. But Mr. Biden has managed to make people think this is an autonomous thing that goes everywhere when it doesn't, in fact. And he's not only leading America into Marxism, communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, he's leading the world into it. Because if we fall, they'll fall with us. All the little countries that have fought so hard to get rid of socialism, to take the socialist boot off their back and off their necks and off their throats since the end of World War II, will lose as well. The ones that have just not that in the recent past gained their freedom from the communist Russia government when, as Reagan said, tear down this wall to Mr. Gorbachev. May not have been politically correct, but it was definitely something that needed to be said. Should have been said a long time before that. I invite all of you to understand you have to exercise your God-granted rights if you intend to keep them. Because I got news for you. If they manage to do the things they're doing, all the protesting you have in your rooms, your chat rooms, your meetings you go to, whatever you do, aren't going to do you any good. And most of you aren't going to be able to reach Washington, D.C. anymore because they're going to try to do away with gasoline. So we had better start doing something more physical than just complaining. Complaining is usually done in the confines of your own home or at meetings where it's basically speaking to the choir. You need to take it out to the streets, to meetings, other meetings, to family gatherings, in your churches, everywhere you go. You need to be a voice for freedom. I've always said your vote is your voice. It is, as far as our government goes. but your voice is also the voice for freedom. Look at yourselves as we should, like Paul Revere. The British are coming, remember? A lot of people weren't happy to see Paul Revere ride through their towns and tell them, hey, the British are coming. That meant they either had to do something or they had to run, or they just had to sit and cheer the British when they arrived. Now Paul Revere would be running town to town, door to door, saying, the communists are coming, and they're coming from the United States capital, Washington, D.C., and most state capitals as well. And nothing irks me more than to hear all these so-called broadcasters say, why, these people don't know what are they crazy? They don't know what they're doing. They all know what they're doing. This is a well laid out plan to overthrow our government. Look at history of Russia, look at the history of Germany, look at the history of Cuba, look at the history of China that have all gone this way. See what they started doing and the things they did to eventually kill hundreds of millions of people because of communism all around the world. We're talking hundreds of millions of people died. Not in wars, but within their own borders. Sent to gulags and camps and all kinds of things, starved to death. That's what happened. That's what will happen to some of us if we allow this to continue. So start understanding what Biden and Biden's buffoons are doing to all of us. And don't listen to political commentators who are telling you they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And they mean to do this. And start talking to your so-called representatives in D.C., and I don't care if it's like someone like McConnell who now says he won't go to the signing of the infrastructure bill because Trump got on his case so badly. He doesn't want to go on TV nationally to wake everybody up to how stupid the guy is, or actually what a shadow government type person he really is. So let's get together and stop this nonsense, okay? I want to thank you for listening in. And remember, pray for us, we'll pray for you. We all need to pray for each other and encourage each other to do the right thing. If we don't do it, who will? If we don't stand up for freedom now, when? It's up to all of us to do this, not just up to a few. It's all of us. United we stand, our e pluribus unum, from many, one. That's what we're supposed to be. One nation under God, no matter your party. Remember that. And no matter whether you think all these crazy things that Biden does are successful, they're not. Our economy is proving it with all the higher prices and empty shelves, all right? So once again, keep us in your prayers and thoughts. And remember, tomorrow, at Dale's Town and Country on Waddell and Surprise, come by and see us, okay? God bless you, have a great day, and talk to you later. Bye for now.